Hey, hey, you like my? I know you. Hey, hey. It's almost time. What is up? What is up, everybody? What is up? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to Swag Dummy TV. It is your boy, Moses K. Diamond, and I'm here to run my mouth again for I don't know, but I'm gonna be running it. I'm gonna be talking, man. I'm gonna be going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about the shit I love. So, yesterday was first stream day. I'm getting the hang of this whole app thing. Doing my best. I'm doing my best, and when you're me, your best is a lot. So, um, definitely enjoying this. Changed my streaming times for those of y'all that are in Southern Africa. It is 2:30 in the AM. But then, of course, for those of you guys that are just waking up, or it's midday in your side of the world, what it do? What's up? Um, so today I wanted to touch in on a really, really dope educational point in terms of fitness and bodybuilding. If you've watched my first stream, you should know what I'm about. And today we're going to be discussing how to choose the coach. For those of y'all who wish to get anywhere far in this, in any athletic industry, and not even just athletic industry, but um, it doesn't need to be a sport. It doesn't need to be fitness. It can also be mentorship. It can also be business. Choosing a coach or a mentor can make or break you. Um, Take it from those of us that tried to do it on their own once upon a time. You just yeah, it's just a whole bunch of asking questions and failing a lot. Um, I generally feel like mentorship is the best way to go about anything because you're saving yourself a lot of time, saving yourself a lot of time, a lot of money, and the mistakes that we've already made, or the mistakes that a coach has already made, which you were definitely going to make had you started alone. You kind of like fast track that, and they educate you, and then now you start making new mistakes. You start hustling on your own, and you start pushing your own thing, and it's very important. Um, why do you need a coach? Because experience. You also need someone that's going to hold you accountable. That's one of the most important things about mentorship that most people really just overlook. The importance of having someone call you out for the evidently the shit that you do and the shit that you need to be doing. Um, for those of y'all who haven't followed me on Instagram, it's at MosaKD. Uh, and then I've got Alpha KD Training as my coaching coaching page. I think once this channel pulls enough traction, I'll reopen the Swag Dummy TV page. I closed it for a bit, but I'll be planning on reopening it so I don't like overcrowd all my pages with my daily content. Anyway, let's go. So, coaches, what are they there for? I just gave you guys a little run in and so just like a little introduction as to why you need a coach. Um, in bodybuilding, I think in any sport, you're gonna get people that are gonna take advantage of you, right? That's a given. Because some people are short-minded. They're trying to make a buck off you right now um, instead of having something worth building, longevity, and all that other stuff, right? And you're gonna go into the space on your own, hopeful with cleary eyes. You're gonna be so optimistic about how much you love bodybuilding and how everybody that you encounter should love it so much that they'll help you um, without wanting anything from you or any hidden agendas. And unfortunately, that's not true. Uh, I think I touched a bit on it in my previous post that sometimes you're gonna ask help for someone who's secretly competing with you, and that's not gonna get you anywhere. It's not gonna get you anywhere because um, it doesn't matter what you do. That person's always going to be finding a way to sabotage you. And the points I'm gonna give you today are gonna help you somewhat avoid that. I mean, it's obviously not a perfect science because human beings are a flawed creation, but you will be able to spot what works for you and what doesn't work for you, right? And I think we should just get into it. So, what are the first things you should be looking for in terms of a coach? Now, in this new day and age, we have social media, we have online platforms, and all that other stuff. Back in the day, you had to go. Oh God, I made myself sound so old. Back in the day, you'd have to go into your local gym and ask around, and do your research as to is there anybody who is currently training people or mentoring people in the sport that I want. And then you'd obviously start with the biggest jack guys in the gym. But I warned you about that. Just because he got his body doesn't mean he knows how to transform yours. And it's not a one for all thing. If fitness should teach you one thing, bodies aren't one for all. So go online. Obviously, from the bat, you're going to have your favorite. You're going to have the coach of your favorite athlete. And look, coaches don't come cheap. Mentors don't come cheap. Especially when they have a great deal of experience. But you also don't want to find yourself victim of just becoming a number in their roster. You don't want to find yourself being an invoice, right? So you gotta pick it out. You gotta find, okay, you gotta look them up. You gotta do a little research. You're gonna see, okay, so and so person have trained this many people. And then you kind of like try to find some similarities. Okay, so and so person once had a figure like mine and had the same issues like that I did. So I think I'll ask them how it is they managed to overcome said challenges and whatnot and whatnot. And then you have a short list of people that you may want to work with, right? You see their names, you pick them out, and then you start the conversation, right? This point is probably the most vital and the most important point out of everything I'm about to say. You need to see if you and the person that you are talking to have somewhat of a chemistry. Now, what does that mean? I'm not saying it should be something in a overly personal, no boundary check type of situation. No. You need to be able to see if the person that you're talking to, it's a conversation thing, right? And you want someone that is going to want to take your career as seriously as you want to take it. So the first things that you set out for is, hey, how how is communication with this person, right? Um, does this person allow me to ask questions? That's very important. That's the most important because um, coach and athlete relationship is really about growing with each other. And if you can't ask me questions, it means I'm not trying to grow you, and I'm not trying to push you to the best um, you could possibly be. I'm simply saying, hey, listen to me, and you don't have a say, and that doesn't work because, like I explained in my previous video, you are unique, and at one point you're gonna need to find your formula. But we need to find your formula together, or you're just not gonna get there, right? You're gonna end up doing things in secret and messes up the plan. I cannot be a mentor who does not want to learn. So you need to find a coach that's willing to answer questions. Also, look, disclaimer, don't be annoying. Don't be that one person who asks for free advice every single day. No, this is a consultation, right? If you're approaching this person and you want this person to coach you, you let it be known that, listen, hey, my name is so and so and so, and I am interested in getting a coach. I'm currently in the market for a coach, but I was hoping we could have a conversation as to, because I've obviously seen your references, but can we have a conversation? Can I ask you a few questions? You know, you can also ask me some questions, and can we get into the space where we see if we're a good match for each other? I'm not asking for any free session. I just want a consultation. And that's what's crazy about the industry. Most coaches or most online coaches, fake or real, they don't consult anymore. They just message you and they tell you, okay, if you want to start with me, this is what it's going to cost you. Send the invoice and then you'll get the knowledge. And it's an insane thing. Um, you need, if you want to take your business seriously, you need to be able to know how to consult your future client. Because guess what? For the coaches listening in, having a bad client could also waste your time. You need to be able to see if you and this person gel as well. So coaches also need to be able to, like, when you say, hey, you want to work with me, I'm so glad that you want to work with me. Clearly you've seen the work I've done with someone else, blah, 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 blah. But let's have a conversation. Tell me what it is you want to do. What is it? Yo, let's not lose our English bundle here. What is it that you would like to achieve with your physique? Right? What is it that you would like to see yourself? What are your realistic expectations and what are your superficial expectations? And, you know, just let me know what it is you want. And right off that, it doesn't matter whether someone's texting or calling. You can do a Zoom, you can video call, you can Skype. Okay, Skype is down, but you can WhatsApp and all that stuff. But you can sit down and talk to someone and just literally discuss what it is they want. And from that discussion, you'll be able to hear whether this person is worth the time or should just be working with someone else because your personalities are going to clash. And there's nothing more important than that. There's absolutely nothing more important. Like, that is a step that you cannot overlook, right? Because I'll tell you what, a lot of professionals in the industry mask lack of knowledge with arrogance, right? They mask the inability to change or to adapt to a situation by making it look like their way is the only way. And a great deal of the time, what's going to happen is that this person's going to be an asshole. This person's going to pretend that they're the smartest person in the world. And if you remember any, if you can remember your history of school, Your best teacher wasn't the person that pretended that he's already done this before, and therefore, because you want to now do it, that you're wasting his time by wanting to learn. That is the wrong person to look into working with. And surprisingly, a lot of the people in the industry are like that. And if anything, the fitness influencers who have no background in mentoring or coaching, the ones that you're going to be like, oh, dude, you look so great. I want to be like you, blah, blah, blah. They're normally the people that act in the way that I'm talking about right now. They're very arrogant and they're very stuck up, and they do not want to adjust. They do not want to adapt, and they do not want to change up. It's not about you. It's about them. Whereas when you're looking for a coach, at the end of the day, it's not about you are looking for the coach. You want to be the athlete. You want to be the star, right? So respect him and her. Respect your coach and have a meaningful relationship, but it needs to be about you, because the reason you went for a coach is because you are investing in your body, your career. So the moment you go for mentorship and that person who's investing in your body makes it about themselves, you have a problem, and you can't move on or continue with such person. The only thing you can do is move on, because that person, that at the moment they make it about themselves, it means they really don't care about you. So chemistry is a crucial thing, and you need to die on that hill where you say, listen, we need to be compatible, my man. Right? We need to be compatible. You could run into a coach that's won all the competitions, but if you guys are not compatible, it's not going to work, right? Another point, once you've figured out whether you guys have a chemistry or not, don't take that for granted. If you're agree on a payment plan and all that other stuff, respect it. The reason I'm saying this is not just for the coach, but this is for you, because you'll be able to set demands based on the boundaries that you guys set up in the beginning. And what's that? Hey, I understand you've got a lot of clients, but I'm paying you. Okay, I'm paying you, and I'm paying you on time. So I would prefer, and I would respect it if you gave me the respect of the investment that I'm putting in, because I'm investing in myself, but I'm investing through you. So could you please do me the favor of respecting my time as I'm respecting yours? Right? Very, very crucial, very, very vital. It's do or die. There's absolutely nothing more important than setting boundaries early, because as much as chemistry is a thing, we as human beings, we overstep, right? And we'll get excited because the more the plan that I'm giving you starts to work, the more your confidence changes. And one thing that people don't actually get the time to monitor, but if you've been in fitness long enough and you have enough experience, you're able to see it. You're able to see it coming from a mile away. You've seen it a million times. When people start to change and when people start to work towards their goals, their attitude changes tenfold. Like you have a huge flip, right? That thing exists. The nerd who became the bully in the gym, that exists. The shy girl who became the outspoken and let me put it in an over exaggerated manner so you understand. Sometimes the girl who was overlooked and timid and very shy, and she hid her body and didn't want to show all these things out, when she becomes that girl, you see it in gyms everywhere, right? The girl who went to gym in 10 sweatpants and 3 sweaters or hoodies completely covered up. When they finally become their peak transformation, they forget what clothes are, right? You go into it, you see it with fitness, you see it with fitness influencers all the time. Girls are wearing negative stuff, and they have the audacity to film you just so that they can put you up on Joey Swole. That's the reality of what happens when a person's body changes. And for fitness professionals, I mean, you have to be able to. That's also a part of your mentorship, about being able to also tell your client how to navigate through the mental challenges that are going to come up. Obviously, it's not just an issue of don't give up, right? I'm not saying be humble. I don't believe in the concept of humbleness in a competitive field, right? This is not just bodybuilding, but just in fitness in general. I'm not saying that you should be timid. I'm not saying that you should hide and be all undercover and all that all bullshit. No, but I'm saying um, there is a level of meekness that you'll need, because one day someone is going to be the you that started, and they're going to want to ask questions. And you see, don't be the dick just because you got a good mentor. Be someone that passes the baton forward, right? Let this be a relay. Okay. So it kind of find your way to navigate through that. So same thing with the guys, the small nerdy guy or the overweight guy, you know, in the gym, very, very quiet, trying to make his way. When he becomes the most jacked guy in the gym, now starts covering 4 pieces of equipment, says he's doing a monster set. Hey, I'm doing a super set. Can't you see you in the way of my camera? It always happens. So boundaries that you set as an athlete and a coach together will secure your relationship. It will ensure that your relationship goes on for years, right? At one point, you guys are going to feel like family, but don't be taking food out of your family's mouth. That's all I'm saying, right? Because I'll tell you something I'm guilty of. When I get passionate about the work that I'm doing with a client, I start becoming very, very generous. I want to see them succeed. And we sometimes, we don't have the means to cover everything up. And then you start sponsoring, then you start helping out. You see that this person's worked a really long time, so you also start offering, hey, let me pay for your registration. Let's go half in this competition. We're trying to do the best that we can to make sure you win. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I definitely want to tell the other coaches that are listening in on this that it has its flaws, because the moment you do too much, the person that you're doing it for starts to do a whole lot less, because they know that you're going to cover up the slack, right? So boundaries, set it out that, hey, we are going to work together, right? But I'm going to give you a diet. I need you to follow it to the T. I need you to buy everything. I'm going to give you a supplement list. I need you to buy everything, right? If there's certain things you can't buy, let me know so that I can adjust the plan and not adjust and not try and do this for you, right? So when I give you the supplements, follow the plan. When I tell you to take XYZ, follow the plan. A huge thing that most people, and this is not a pet peeve for me, it's something that infuriates me, and you can't save people. It's when I ask you for pictures, when I ask you for weekly progress pictures, don't make it feel like I am inconveniencing you, because I need those pictures to monitor your progress, right? I'm not even, this goes for online clients, and this also goes for in real life clients, right? Just because I see you every day doesn't mean I see, like, the eyes can deceive. I'll be looking at you your shoulder this week and next week, and I'll be like, yeah, your shoulder's growing. And then there's a week that we meet where you don't have a pump at all. And then you get what I'm saying? There's so many things that factor in the critiquing and the overview process, that you want to make sure you're right. So pictures, still images, videos, shot the same for comparison. That is the most important thing. I shouldn't have to beg you for that. And listen, I'll be honest with you. I have probably only worked with 3 clients in my whole career, and I've worked with a lot of people. I'm over 700 transformations. I've worked with a lot of people. I've only really ever had 3 clients that didn't trouble me, that didn't fight me with wanting progress pictures. I had to beg, bro. I had to beg. I'm like, yo, I need to see competitions coming up. Only like people lock in when they're like, hey, 4 weeks out, I don't feel like I look good enough. Only when they start getting concerned with the plan that they've been giving do they start sending the pictures every day. But the truth is, you should have been like that in day 1. Some people think that sending your coach images every day is enough. No. A true mentor would love to hear from you every single day, because it also keeps them sharp. I shouldn't be hearing about you only when there's a problem. I shouldn't be hearing from you only when you're not happy with something. I need to also be able to foresee. I need to be like, oh, yo, okay, send me what you got. Let me monitor. Let me see. Okay, sharp. Right? If need be, video call. Okay, I'm gonna need to see. You said you woke up bloated. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's have a small conversation. Let's book an hour call tomorrow and just hear, see how we can solve that. Tell me about everything you did that day. That is a coach-athlete relationship. That is a mentor's relationship. Don't put yourself in the position to be a mentor if simple things like that annoy you or they bother you, because you have a responsibility, right? This was one thing that gets me tight with the new age teachers, right? And we're talking about education. Why would you go out your way to get a degree in teaching just for the pay, when you know that we have to leave our kids with you? So we are putting ourselves in a vulnerable position where we have to leave our children with you, and we have to beg you to watch our kids. And then you got to do it like you don't really want to do it. And then my kid ends up failing in life because I didn't monitor that. Side note, parents, really investigate in who's teaching your children and see if they have a chemistry with their teachers. What I'm saying applies to everything. What I'm saying for coaching now applies to everything. You need to be able to see that your child is happy to go to their mentor. Because a person who isn't happy about something doesn't do well in it. That point was so hard. I needed like one of those sassy American black girls to snap their fingers and twist their necks while I was saying it. It's very important. You don't excel in something when you don't love it. And pressure and threats and just hard enforcing your dreams on someone else, that's not going to help them become the best. You either need to show them why you love it so that they can see if they're going to love it with you, or it's either you love it or you don't. And a great deal of people don't see the harm in simply trying something because everyone else is doing it, right? The industry is full right now because everybody sees. Because right now, guess what? Fitness content is making people a lot of money. If you go back 10, 15, probably like 15 to 20 years ago, gyms were hardly surviving. Gyms were hardly surviving because it was an optional thing. It was a thing where it had more stigma than it had members. Some people were only going to the gym because the doctor told them that you got 5 months, bud. If you keep on doing this, you're gonna be dead by June. So um, you get it with the runners too. But I think now in the era that we're living in, everybody can see the importance of keeping yourself healthy and keeping yourself leveled and all that other stuff. So that's a vital thing. You gotta love it. So when I ask you for pictures, don't make it seem like I'm. First of all, remember, let's go back to the chemistry thing and the boundaries, right? There's a way you're supposed to take your progress pictures, male or female, right? If as a female client you are not comfortable with showing your body off to a male coach, that falls in the chemistry and boundaries areas. Find a coach that you're comfortable with showing off with. Forget about him being the best in the world. It doesn't matter. You need to feel like you're in a safe space with your mentor. Same thing with the men, because whether you believe it or not, there's a lot of men who have female coaches. If you feel that when you send your progress pictures that the commentary doesn't serve you, or you start to see that this person's is not being professional, you gotta get out. You set your boundaries early. You set your boundaries early because we need to protect the sport. If spouses are now not supportive of their significant other because of of a relationship and a lack of boundaries that's being set out between and the trainer and the client, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, right? So that is another thing that you can't avoid, because I don't want to have to ask for your progress pictures like I'm asking for nudes. I don't need to be seeing your body like that. You came to me because you want to be the best. So stop making my job difficult. Stop making my job difficult. Help me help you. There's no way around it. Help me help you. I cannot come out and force you to be the best if you don't want to be the best. It's as simple as that. So that's a very, very important point on why you should be working well with your coach and your athlete, right? Be able to be receptive. Allow yourself to sit down with the person and figure things out, right? Now, athletes, a point that's important is when you're going to a mentor, stop trying to be a know-it-all. Don't go in, don't start to work with someone and then go in with the thought that you're going to tell them what to do. You're not paying me to tell me what you do. You're paying for my help. Right? You're paying for my help. So don't come here and you start telling me, hi, my name is so and so, and this is how my body works. I don't eat this because I eat this. I'm like, yo, are you allergic? First, I'm going to ask, are you allergic? I don't take protein powders. I don't believe in protein powders. Well, I do. And could we maybe have a conversation as to why you don't believe in protein powder? Yeah, no. What's this? Yeah, I watched this documentary. You don't go to school with the mentality that you know better than the teacher. Be a good student to get the best out of a mentor. Make your own decisions and criticisms based on for what you're learning. Take what you're given and then go back home, sit down and be like, okay, I agree with this, I don't agree with this. All right. And then tomorrow, come back and be like, I actually don't agree with this. And this is why I don't agree with this. Could we maybe have a conversation about that? That is a respectable way to approach your mentor. Not, yeah, listen, why did you give this to me? You know, because the other people aren't taking this, and there's this and that, and it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Be able to approach them properly and like, okay, I jotted this down. I've given it a try before. And this is my findings with it. This is how I went about it. When I did it, this was the results I got. Hence the reason why I don't necessarily agree with this particular method. Could we maybe venture into another method, or are you not willing to compromise? That is the conversation you should be having with your mentor. It's very important to be a good student. So if you're a beginner and you're going into the space of looking for a coach, go there, be as blank as this book right here. Be blank. So that you can absorb all the information. Be a baby, as they say. Be a baby. And babies look at their parents and they look at their mentors. And the more you watch and the more you learn, the faster you progress. But arrogance, because coaches aren't the only people who can be arrogant. If you come with the mentality that you've watched every YouTube video and you're just here because you know why you're here, and hey, I just need you to do this. You don't need to do anything else. You get what I'm saying? Imagine I come to your job and tell you what to do before you provide the services to me. We're not going to have a good relationship going on. And anybody who can still take you on while doing that is really just trying to grab some money. That's all you are. You're an invoice. You see? So that's what you got to figure out. Invoice, or are you an asset? And assets are taken care of. Invoices are not. Right? When was the last time you saw someone laminate and frame an invoice? Put it up for everyone to see. You don't see that. So don't be that guy or girl. Don't be that person whose only value is, hey, listen, but it's the 25th. I expect my money. Things to avoid. So you want to be a blank book. But like I said, ask questions. You're not going to learn if you don't ask questions. Right? You're not going to learn if you don't ask questions. And that is very important. Another point I want to touch on is a lot of, for the bodybuilding and training athletes, there's a lot of people that only want to seek coaching for the specific stage of prepping. For those of you guys who don't know what prepping is, it's when they prepare to go and compete, right? The 12 weeks or the 16 weeks, or just basically the cutting stage to get on stage, right? And I want to advise against that for one major reason. We have not yet learned anything about each other. It's a trial and error process. Going to a coach specifically for him to prepare you for a show, for a specific show, and you come within a specific window of that show, it means that you are not anticipating mistakes. And that is a very impossible thing. It means that you are not willing to see what works and what doesn't before you actually get into the point of preparing your body to step on stage and show the finished result. Because when you get on stage, that's the finished result. Now you just want a person who's never worked with you before to get it right. Whereas he doesn't know how you react to his programs. He doesn't know how you react to any of the foods that he's going to be telling you to take, or the training, or the gear, or anything like that. You just thinking, you want to think that you're a one for all. I want you to know that if you think that a coach can just take you 12 weeks and make you win a show because of his knowledge, it means you're not special. Because it means that he has to use another person's plan in order to get you ready for the show. It means you're not unique. It means you fit with everyone else. It means that you are the athlete that gets one show and that's it. I mean, you're that person who wins, but you're not going to be the person that wins overall. Yeah. I just need the 12 weeks. I just need you to get me stage ready. There's so much that goes into that. And our sessions in the off season is what creates that. So you want someone that you're going to work with for a long enough time for the both of you guys to test out methods, because there's no one method. Test out methods to make sure that when we execute the plan, this is how we execute the plan. Because you know what's going to happen when you get to a show? You're going to get to a show looking the best you feel like you've ever looked. And then you're going to lose to someone, and then you're going to get the coach's feedback. And when the coaches give you their feedback, they're going to tell you, hey, you looked amazing, but you're lacking here and there and there. And you're definitely lacking here and here and here. Once you get that feedback, you now have to work on these points. If you're the type of person that only takes a coach up for prep, I promise you the following year, those same points that you were told to work on, you're going to fail. Because you would not have known how to fix them. You're going to concentrate on them, but you're going to put so much attention into that specific part that you're going to neglect something else. And then when you get to the next show, you're going to be frustrated when they tell you, okay, but you got this right, but you started lacking here as well, which is the whole point of mentorship. So you want to avoid that. You want to keep that at bay. And getting a coach with a good enough time, getting a coach with a respectable enough time, allows you both to hold each other accountable. Like, hey, bro, we've been working for 6 months. We did a bulk and then we did a cut. What did we do wrong? For anybody going into bodybuilding, I always suggest that you work with someone for at least a year or 2 years. We like to say that you have a 2 competition window. 2 competitions to figure out whether you figured this out or not. If by 2 competitions you haven't figured it out, then move on to the next one. It's not a lack of loyalty from your point. It just means that, because what most people don't seem to understand is a competitive career is not as long as you want it to be. Amateur stages, yeah, you're going to be in the amateurs for what? Nowadays, it's quicker. You're going to be an amateur for about 5 years. Let's say 5 years minimum. Or, not everyone is Sam Sulek, but if you really want to be peak point, you're going to be in the amateur phase for like plus minus 5 years. And then you're going to get into the pro stages. And when you get into the pro stages, you really have a 10-year career in pro. That's for the average person. That is for the average person. Not everybody's Dexter Jackson. Not everybody's going to do 29 years, 29 Olympias. So you got 10 years minimum if you're trying to go all the way. And you don't want to waste all those years of your body's health not knowing where you're going, not figuring things out the way you need to figure them out. And that punches on another point that I want to make. Incredibly famous coaches have a lot of clients. And the truth is, if you're not showing the potential, for those of us in the industry, we've seen this a lot. If you're not yet showing potential to being one of the top 10 that he has, you're just going to get a generic plan. Those of us here in South Africa, we've seen a lot of people fall victim to that in a large manner. Because guess what? We're booking the international coaches abroad. The ones that have been qualifying for the O, qualifying for the Arnolds. We book them. We're so far away that it doesn't matter how big we are. They don't care because out of sight, out of mind. Right? And you're not big enough for them to give you that attention. So you get a plan. When you WhatsApp them, you get cold responses. You get answered 3 days, 2 days later. That happens. My advice is, when you're looking for a coach, find someone, especially in the amateur level, find someone that's going to be able to give you the time that you deserve. Find someone that's why, obviously this is on a point where the online coaches become somewhat more successful, so that it can be a livelihood for them. Full-time coaching, people who work on schedules, check their phone, monitor, someone who's going to give you the time of day. Not the we'll talk when I get your pictures person. No, you need someone who's actually going to open. So, in that conversation, you want someone that's going to give you your time. Don't be annoying. Don't ask, don't, because there's annoying and then there's wanting to know. Don't go back and forth repeating one and the same thing if we've discussed it. Don't be that person that when I look at my phone, I say, oh my God, I wonder what it could be now. Because, trust me, even the kindest coach gets annoyed. Because you're stealing time from my family time. And yes, I'm giving you this time because I owe you the time, but don't be the type of person who's going to make me regret that. Don't be the type of person who's going to make me regret that. So, yes, we want to work with the biggest international coaches, and you want to invest, and you want to put the time in, and you want to put the money in. But if you're just going to be another number, don't waste your time, because that's your body. That's your body that's going into all of this. So give yourself the space and time to be mentored by the right person. And that's a very real and very prominent thing. Now, this is where we're going to go a little bit advanced. If you're a gear user, Or if you're a person who wishes to use gear, and for those who don't know what gear is steroids. If you wish to use juice, get someone who knows juice. Get someone who understands juice, and get someone who can be forthcoming, because everything that you're taking, ask for explanations. Okay, why should I be taking this? So that you can also get a second opinion. A second opinion, not I'm asking a million people. No. Coaches like keeping their plans private. And I mean, it also help you by keeping your plans private. But it's important to know what's going in your body. So that person also that's why I hate the fake natty narrative. Because there's a lot of coaches that gear and that take gear and provide gear, but get on a platform and start bashing steroids to confuse people. Think about it like this: if your coach can go online and lie to people for the sake of his image, what's going to happen to you when you start to become too much of a hassle? He's going to lie to you. He's going to tell you, hey, you don't need to take this. But the next person who's competing is taking that thing. Also, don't go to people that don't use steroids to ask about steroids. Imagine putting something in your body because your coach heard that it works. What if you're allergic? What if it doesn't work? That is a huge risk to put out for yourself by going out your way to go and ask someone, hey, Ready Too Tired is big and it's everybody is using it. It's like, yeah, I mean, you can use Ready Too Tired. That time Ready Too Tired's only been out for like a couple of months. He hasn't tried it. You start getting gynae, you start aromatizing, and your coach doesn't know what to do because he doesn't use steroids. Don't go to someone who doesn't use roids to ask them how to use roids. And one of my most important points: be careful with going to someone that seems like they're competing with you. That will hurt you. There's a music concept that says artists shouldn't sign to other artists because those artists are not going to put their career where it should be. And it's the same with bodybuilding, right? It's the same when someone is trying to go out their way to compete with you. And this is how you know when someone is competing with you. Because there are coaches that still compete that are able to balance between their clients and themselves. You see it a lot with Terence Ruffin. You see it a lot with so Ruff Diesel does it, I know. There's some other, and he's got a big coaching camp. Martin Fitzwater, Brett Wilkin, those people, they coach, but they're able to keep the balance of not competing with their clients by investing. Like, yeah, your John Lewitt, the J3U Academy, those people, there's an investment there. This is how you know your coach is competing with you. You send progress pictures and then they start telling you, listen, I lost 10 kgs this week. You only lost 3. You got to pick it up because if I'm able to do it, you're able to do it. That person is using you to glorify themselves. I can take 10,000 calories. There can't be an excuse. That's not understanding. That's not, okay, I noticed that you're struggling with the calories. Should we drop the calories until your body adjusts to it? Or can I give you MK so that you can increase your appetite and maybe try and shove some of these meals down with a digestive enzyme to make sure that you don't bloat? Do you hear the difference in the conversation with someone that's trying to help you and someone that's trying to glorify themselves? That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And mind you, like I said, when I say coach, mentor, this falls for everything. Whether you're doing finance or what, yeah, like look, you see it all the time with the trading guys. Hey, coach, I managed to do 1,000. Find someone that's able to be able to separate themselves from who they are and congratulate you on your achievements. If you achieve something, you should know. I'm not here to be your cheerleader, but I want you to know that I'm proud of you. This is an achievement because a real coach always remembers what it was like when they were where you are. That is a coach, not another athlete, because athletes only live in the now. Influencers only live in the now. So when you show them what level you're at, and they'll be like, yeah, but why are you celebrating 225 bench when we're benching 405 or we're benching 705? Why are you celebrating that bench? You're not there yet. You need to be on our level. That's not the person that you want to be working with. That's not the person that you want training you, because that person isn't trying to grow you. That person doesn't remember what it was like to be you. And that is not mentorship, because you're a beginner. I am an intermediate or an advanced. The only way I can get you to being an intermediate or an advanced is by remembering what it was like to be a beginner, so that I know at this point right now, you're struggling with this, because all people at the current level that you are struggling with this. Let me help you get past that so that you can struggle with newer problems, because you need to struggle in order to grow. Struggle, pain, yes, you need to go through that thing. It's homework. You have to do the homework. It's the school fees that you pay. School fees that you pay in anything. So when an athlete's like, wow, coach, I lost 5 kgs. That's amazing. That is amazing. It's working, right? We wanted to get to the point where you're losing 7 kgs, 10 pounds, 12 pounds. We want to get you to this point, but I want you to be happy with where you are right now, and you need to keep going, because it's very important. You are doing the best that you can, and I'm here for it, and I love it. That is a mentor. That is a mentor. Not a weirdo who's going to tell you how when he started, he benched 225 on his first try. Also, find people that are human, bro. I hate talking to someone who sounds like a Super Saiyan, bro. Yeah, when I started training on my first lift, listen, I won my first competition and I didn't even diet. I had Burger King the whole prep, but my body you see, don't go for genetic freaks. Stay away from people that make it sound like they're the only one that this thing can happen to. I never needed steroids when I was bodybuilding, It's another thing, like you see with the old heads nowadays, they are not the type, like you see, look at if you watch the podcasts and interviews with the older bodybuilders, they're not the people that you want to be talking to, because listen to them lie when they get on there. Yeah, we didn't have all these drugs. I just took some tests and I was taking under 250 milligrams, but I was 330 pounds on stage. You don't need that negativity. You don't need that person's lies. Those are lies. Unprovoked lies. Unprovoked lies. Listen, can't be going to someone and saying, yeah, on the off season, I only use 375 milligrams of test. Sustaining a body that big. For those people who don't seem to understand, let me give you a little insight. And I think maybe tomorrow I'll go into a little bit more of that. But Let me break something down to you so that you understand. You can't put 1/4 of petrol or gas in your car, right? With the hopes that that car is going to take you on a long distance journey. It doesn't work like that, right? If you've seen a Fiat, small little car, Fiat Palio, whatever, Uno, an Uno's full tank isn't a Dodge Ram's full tank. So why would you want to believe that they're using the same amount to get to the same distance? Why would you believe that? Why would you believe that when someone tells you that they're taking less than the recommended dosage of the product, that they were able to achieve superhuman transformation? How would that happen? It can't. Respect yourself by dealing with someone who respects themselves. And lying about how you did something is someone that doesn't respect. Stay away from the people that believe that don't let the truth get in the way of telling a good story. That's what the fitness influencers are doing right now. They're selling good stories. They're not selling the truth. Right? Stay away from, I just take TRT. Just say you take steroids, bro. Like, everybody's trying to find a clean way of saying something because they want to be acceptable to society. Either don't go about saying anything at all instead of lying. I just take TRT. Do you know what a TRT dosage is? It's under 200. 200, 250, that's it. A week. That's TRT dosages. I just take TRT. When you see the guy's TRT, his TRT is 1.2 grams. Mind you, and allow me to explain something. Your TRT dosage cannot be something you've never taken before. When you start TRT, let's say you are nothing, and you start taking 250 milligrams of tester a week. It's TRT, but for your new body, you are technically blasting. Because your body has never had that before. So what is a TRT dosage to your body like that? So now you say you're starting off and you're taking 750 milligrams, 500 milligrams. You're blasting. It's not TRT anymore. How's it TRT when you're blasting? Respect yourself. If you want a good coach, good mentor, stay away from someone who needs to lie to the world in order to be accepted by the world. Because at one point, listen, it's a trait everywhere. If he can lie to a podcast full of people, he's going to lie to me. He is going to lie to me. Be safe. Stay away from people like that. Don't even waste your time. Invest in people that are willing to go all the way, or their way, or out of their way to ensure that you get the results that you want. Find someone who's so passionate with winning and so passionate with the sport that they'll give you everything. Right? And stay away from these coaches that have different pricing for the same thing. Right? What is a $50 package online coaching? What information am I going to be keeping away from you? Okay, I'm only going to give you a diet and supplements, but I'm not going to give you training. Find one package and pay it monthly. The only packages you should be looking at is yearly packages, monthly packages. Those are the only specials you should be looking for. Not, okay, he says if I pay him this much, he'll teach me this. How does a person who's really passionate about something know where to stop teaching? At the end of the day, hold on to this quote. A true teacher only knows the class is over when the bell rings, and he doesn't look for the time and hope that the class is over. And that's what a true teacher is and a true mentor is. So you need to find someone that is so passionate about this and so passionate about what you want that when you go to them, you would have already found them teaching. And only when the bell stops ringing will he be happy with the result that he gave you. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I don't want to go too far because I'm going to be up in a couple of hours with preparing my next episode. My links, it's just I think I put them somewhere. But anyway, Kickstream at Swag Dummy Inc. TV. YouTube is Swag Dummy TV. My Instagrams is at MosaKD, one word, and coaching Alpha KD _training. If you go on any of those platforms, you're going to get the links to my other stuff. For those people that were on my website, I'm currently redesigning the website, so it's going to be down for a short while, but my DMs are always open. So if you want to ask any questions, I'm going to be having some Q&As coming up very soon. Thank you again for joining me. I definitely respect and I'm humbled by all who support, and I'm not deterred, or how can I say, I'm not discouraged by those who don't. Like I said, I do this because out of love, out of passion, and I hope if you do it for the same reasons that we can end up working together. So hit me on my